Hello. So I just wanted to get on here. A lot of my fans had written into me and asked me to break down this interaction, the body language between Ariel, Helwani and Conor McGregor in this interview the other day. Now, it's a pretty standard Zoom type interview, which you're seeing a lot more of these days because of the pandemic, but also just because of the way modern technology works and the ease of communication. So it's a standard interview here. Ariel Helwani there, talking away in his home office. He's got a new job. I can't remember exactly. I think he's gone to BT Sport. He left the UFC, whoever he was on, ESPN. And it was big news that he had a big new job. And so here you go. Kind of looks confident looking at Ariel, probably a little bit intimidated by all those books in the background because you don't often hear Conor talk about literature. He talks mainly about money and that sort of thing. But so the thing, I just thought this was a standard thing, but then I saw this shot and I thought, hang on, what's going on here? Because if you look at this shot here, it becomes pretty clear that in the background, those books look a little bit suspect. That you start to think, it just looks a little bit odd, doesn't it? Yes, it makes sense as Ariel. He's well-read, a very smart guy, that he would have a bunch of books, but just some of the geometry seems a little bit off. And the first part of it that really made my alarm bells ring was the light there. See the reflection, the lens, where it's a reflection of a light really there to the left where Ariel's head's moving around, and that looks like a flat surface that's bouncing the light off. And also, just the geometry looks a little bit off to me. And as a body language expert, I'm trained to see some of the nuances and just some things that other people untrained in the arts might miss. And so, with all this said, I thought to myself, maybe if I just get onto Google, I might be able to find something similar. Do these things exist? So I got on to Google and I looked up bookcase backdrop, and the results were pretty interesting. I get on there. There seems like there's a wide variety of various versions of these bookcase backdrops for video. I guess they're reasonably popular, but I was lucky enough to find what I think is the exact one on wish.com, which is a website I'd never used before. It's quite a convenient website, very cheap, and you can pick up this exact bookshelf that Ariel's using there for $14.12, and then I think it's another $5 delivery in various sizes, very small, and I think that's part of the magic of it, that in this bookshelf, it's much closer to behind him than what you think it is. The geometry's off a little bit. Maybe they've printed the books a little bit smaller so that you can put it closer in it, and it's like an optical illusion. But anyway, I've gone ahead and just picked out some side by side. So you've got Ariel on the left here and the Wish ones on the right, and you can see here that it definitely does appear to be the exact same one that's available on Wish. So these books all match up, and I've again used my years of training as a body language expert to be able to pick these out. A lot of it probably wouldn't be obvious to a bunch of my listeners here, but to me it was certainly that's beyond dispute that is the same bookcase. But one thing that I can't quite make out here because of the resolution of the original image is that it appears to me that what Ariel has had to do to jam this in, he's mounted it on some sort of board, because you can see at the top of the bookcase that it does have what appears to be real wood. So it's framed in such a way that it does sort of appear much more like a real bookcase. But if you zoom right in over here, it also appears that he's holding the whole contraption up by this pair of scissors, which I thought was an interesting note. And it does seem more like that's what you would do with a backdrop than a real bookcase. You wouldn't jam in a pair of scissors like that. Now, what does Conor McGregor make of all of this? Who knows? I'm not even sure whether he was picked up on it, because he's not getting this angle here off to the side. He's looking straight on, and as we've said, it is pretty convincing. He's looking just on that small little computer there. I've got a very big computer screen here, so it looks a little bit different, but that's what he's seeing. So he's not even noticing. He's just thinking, Ariel's very, very smart. And again, I wonder whether that's rubbing it in, because I've never heard Conor talk about ever reading a book. He never refers to any literature or any reading at all. But I wouldn't be surprised that when Conor finds out about this, he'll want to get his own back on Ariel. He's known as a bit of a troller and a mastermind manipulator, so I would not be surprised if he tried to get his own back on Ariel. Now, one way I think he might do this is he's known as someone that loves his suits. He's the best dressed man in MMA or sports, I'd go as far as to say, but he particularly loves his tailored suits. He's had this one with the swearing written on it in the past. So imagine if Conor went on to wish, well, he probably wouldn't go on to wish he'd get one of his minions to go on there, but imagine if he bought the very same fabric, the bookcase fabric that that I'd shown you at the start, and he took it to one of his fancy Savile Row suit makers, and he was to make up a suit, a very well-fitted, perfect suit, like he wears. He's got a wonderful body as well, and he struts in on, and that adds to the way in which the suit just clings to him. But imagine if he was to go and get one of those suits made using the fabric from Ariel's bookcase, and then he turned up at the next interview looking like this, and so he's facing onto Ariel saying, well, Ariel, it seems to me that we've both got our books. Yours are behind you and fake, and mine are inside me. You know, I am the book, and I have no doubt that Conor will write a book in the future. He may already have a book, who knows? But I don't think he's going to be reading one soon. But I do know for a fact that is a great way to get inside Ariel's head. Now, will he be able to do that to Dustin Poirier? I don't know. We'll see on Saturday. But I think Dustin Poirier has got a very stronger mental attitude. Still not sure whether he's a big reader, but it remains to be seen. I don't think this. Well, the suit, the book suit might actually get into Dustin Poirier's mind as well, and we will see at the weigh-in. Well, weigh-in's probably now, but we'll see on Saturday. Okay, thanks very much for listening to my body language analysis.